Have you ever felt like you were on the cusp of a breakthrough, but nothing big or bold actually breaks through? About this time a year ago, I was really struggling with how things were going. I felt like I was in the in between phase where I was at a new life level, basically functioning higher than I had before, but I wasn't where I ultimately wanted to be. It left me feeling blah. I wasn't burnt out and I was definitely not considering giving everything up, but the spark and excitement to keep powering through towards my end goal wasn't really there either. I actually spent a lot of time consuming content to help me work through this mental fog that I was in. I realized that I can get so focused on my end goal or my end destination that I don't take the time I need to appreciate where I currently am. Shifting to a mindset of gratitude made a huge difference as I move through this in between phase. And in this episode, I'm sharing some things you can do to move through the in between you may be feeling. Maybe you're not burnt out, but you're also not excited. So, before I get into how you can move through the in between phase of your goals or things that you're working on, I want to share a book that I read that helped me even identify this mental state. It was The Joy of the In Between by Ashley Hetherington. And this book featured 100 daily devotionals and some personal sonnets of Ashley's own struggles. I will link to it in the show notes if you want to check it out. But it helped me realize exactly where I was in this weird in between phase. And that kind of leads me nicely into the first way to move through the in between, which is recognizing the in between season. I think the first step is acknowledging where you are and recognizing you are actually in this in between season. And as I mentioned, had I not stumbled on Ashley's book while perusing the self-help shelves of Barnes and Noble, I wouldn't have known this was where I was mentally. I didn't really know what to call it. I didn't know what the name of it was. And I think so many of us feel unsettled without fully understanding why. So let's take some time to really think about what it looks like to be in this in between season. So, some signs to look for include you are meeting your responsibilities, but you feel like you're on autopilot. So, maybe you are showing up, you're doing the work, you're handling everything that needs to be done, but it feels robotic. There is no spark behind the actions, it's just motions you've become so accustomed to. Maybe you're paying the bills, maybe you're growing your business and hitting your deadlines, but there's no sense of excitement about it right now. Now, I want to just add that if you are, doing what needs to be done, but not feeling the spark, that doesn't mean you're failing. It just means that you've gotten comfortable at this level and your growth may be calling you to do something deeper. So, this phase again can feel super unsettling because there's no obvious problem to fix. I mean, you're doing everything right, you're doing what you're supposed to do, but something inside knows that there's more in store for you. So, another sign to look for is you're not unhappy, but there's a lack of spark. That spark is not there. And I think this one is tricky because it's not really burnout and it's not really dissatisfaction. It's kind of this gray area where you're fine, and being fine can feel frustrating when you're used to striving for more. I mean, you're not miserable, but you're also not thrilled or excited either. You're kind of coasting, but deep down, coasting isn't your normal state of being. And I think this is where gratitude really becomes powerful. Instead of feeling guilt for not being happier or more motivated, take a second to just pause and reflect. Maybe acknowledge that I'm not where I used to be, and I'm grateful for that. And I think that simple shift reframes fine into progress, right? Like at least you're not where you were before. And the final sign is you're craving change, but you're unclear on what's next. So I think this is where a lot of us get stuck. I know it's where I got stuck. I mean, you feel restless. You want something different. You want a new goal, a new challenge, a new chapter, but the vision isn't quite clear yet. So, maybe you're trying to grow your business or switch careers or level up your finances, but you really don't know where to start. And I think that uncertainty can make you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. But here's the truth, this in between phase often requires patience. Sometimes clarity comes after stillness, not before action. So trust that not having the full picture right now does not mean you're off track. It means you're just being prepared for your next season. So, if any of these signs apply to you in your life right now, again, it doesn't mean you failed or you're failing. It's often just proof that you're outgrowing your current level and just preparing for what's next. The in between is really where we're stretched, refined, and strengthened. And one of the best ways to move through it with peace is to shift your focus to what's already good in your life right now. I think when you practice gratitude for the progress you've made and the lessons you've learned, it changes how you experience this in between season. Instead of resisting where you are, you can actually start appreciating it. So, another way to move through the in between is practicing gratitude in the pause. I mean, I think gratitude is a theme across my podcast, just in general. I feel like gratitude is really what helps make a person's life richer. There's so many benefits that come from it, but also when you're in the in between. So, the thing about an in between season is when the next big thing isn't here yet, your brain wants to focus on what's missing. And we all do this. It's like constantly scanning for what you don't have, what's not happening, and how far you still have to go to reach your goals. But here's the truth, the fastest way to shift your energy in this season isn't working harder, it's not hustling more, it's gratitude. Gratitude reframes that story you're telling yourself. So instead of thinking, I'm not where I want to be yet, you begin to see, I've already come so far and I'm becoming the person who can handle what's next. And that simple shift can just calm that frustration, bring you back to center, and remind you that this season, just like any other season, has a purpose. So I know sometimes being told to be more grateful can just feel a little dry. So if be more grateful feels vague, here are a few ways to integrate gratitude into your daily life. So the first thing you can do is start a 3-minute morning gratitude ritual. So before you dive into emails or scroll on social media, take just 3 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. Okay, we all have 3 minutes in the morning. Just take 3 minutes and type it in your phone, write it down. 3 things that you're grateful for. And they don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as your morning coffee, a paid bill, or even having quiet time to yourself. Consistency is more powerful than perfection here. And the daily act of noticing what's good trains your brain to look for more of it. Another thing is to celebrate micro milestones. So, in between seasons feel longer when you skip over your wins. And it's easy to do that because the wins are so small that you're not really focused on them. So, start celebrating small progress. Did you stick to your budget for the week? Pause and acknowledge that. Did you finally make that investment in yourself and invest in a coach or a trainer or a book? Give yourself some credit. Did you overcome a fear or set a boundary? That matters too. The act of honoring small wins keeps your momentum alive and reminds you that growth is happening, even if it feels slow. And Let me just tell you, there is actual science behind this, okay? Gratitude activates the parts of your brain linked to happiness and motivation. It lowers stress, it improves focus, and even helps you make better decisions, especially financial ones. So instead of feeling stuck in the in between, gratitude reminds you that you're exactly where you need to be and you're preparing for what's next. So, we've talked about some ways to move through the in between. I want to talk about how to reignite your spark without burning out. So, as we've discussed, this in between season is, a point where you have lost the spark. I mean, you're still doing what you need to do, so you're not really burnt out, but there's no excitement, there's no thrill behind it. And we need to change that. Sometimes being blah doesn't mean you're unmotivated. It means the strategies that used to excite you before don't work anymore. And this was a very hard truth for me to accept. I mean, being a type A Virgo, I thrive on structure and routine. So it may take me a long time to realize that the things I'm doing aren't motivate me. Partially because I'm not fully aware, but mostly because for me, once the routine is set, it's set. Like it takes a lot for me to break a routine or create a brand new routine. So here are some things you can do to bring that fresh energy your way. First, reconnect with your why. Reflect on why you started your journey. Like, no matter what you're working towards, reflect on why you started and how it connects you to the life you want to build. Did anything change along the way? Are you doing things regularly that really don't align? Another thing is to set quick wins. If the big goal feels so far away, create small, achievable milestones that build that momentum for you. So maybe a quick win goal isn't related to your overall goal. Maybe it's to just get outside and get a mental refresh. And then finally, give yourself space to dream again. Okay? Do not underestimate the power of just blank space, white space. Sometimes we need mental breathing room to rediscover what excites us. Sometimes a break, a sabbatical, a pause, or just time away from working on the goals can bring that excitement. Okay, so another thing that we can do is really redefine success while we're waiting. So while we're in this in between season, let's redefine what success looks like for us. I think one of the hardest parts about being in this in between is feeling like you're behind. You've set big goals, you're working hard, you're showing up every day, and yet you're still waiting for the results to fully show up. It can make you question if you're doing enough, or worse, if you are enough. But here's the truth. Success isn't just about the destination. The person you're becoming on the way matters just as much, if not more, than the goal itself. So take some time to expand what success means to you. Most of us measure success by the big milestones, right? The new job, the debt being paid off, the house purchased, the business milestone hit. But the reality is, success can and should look different in different seasons. Success might mean maintaining the progress you've already made, even when motivation feels low. Success might mean prioritizing peace over productivity just for a little while. Success might mean showing up consistently, even when it's hard, and trusting that those small efforts compound over time. This perspective shift helps you feel proud of where you are instead of frustrated about where you're not. And along with that, focus on who you're becoming during this in between season. I often remind myself that my next level problems are things that I've never encountered before, right? I have to be a person who is capable of handling those problems when I get there. Otherwise, I'm not at the next level. The next level is going to require next level thoughts, next level Rhea, next level problems that need next level solutions. So I constantly remind myself of that. In between seasons are where transformation happens quietly. You're building resilience and patience and discipline. And these are traits that will serve you long after you reach the next goal. So ask yourself, who am I becoming in this process? What strengths am I developing right now that my future self will thank me for? And when you shift from obsessing over the outcome to appreciating your growth, the waiting feels a lot less heavy. It feels like you're exactly where you need to be. And that feels amazing, especially when you're in the in between. And then the final piece I want to talk about is giving yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to take that break, that sabbatical, that pause. I mean, here's something that most people don't talk about enough, and myself is included in this. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is actually pause. We live in a culture, in a society that praises constant hustle, new goals, new milestones, new achievements. And that pressure can make us feel like we always need to be doing more. But if you're in an in between season, forcing yourself to hustle harder usually backfires. So instead, give yourself permission to slow down, to breathe, and just be present where you are. Rest is not quitting. Taking a step back is not giving up. It's creating space for clarity. When you pause, when you take that mental break, you release the mental clutter that clouds your vision. You allow inspiration to come in naturally. You recharge so you can show up stronger and more intentional when the next season arrives. And it's coming. It's just a matter of when. Think of it like recharging your phone. You don't wait until the battery completely dies. You pause and recharge before it's depleted. So trust that the pause has purpose because it definitely does. And this in between season that you're in is not wasted time. It's not pause time. It's preparation time. Just because you can't see the breakthrough yet doesn't mean it isn't coming. This season may be shaping your resilience, clarifying your priorities, or teaching you lessons that you will need later. You may not understand it now, but your future self will look back and say, that pause was necessary. So now that we've talked about how to recognize and move through the in between with gratitude, clarity, and rest, I want to leave you with one reminder. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it should be. Even if it feels quiet right now, you are exactly where you should be. And if you are at this place where you feel like whatever you've done is not getting you where you want to go, do not be afraid to seek out help. Do not be afraid to work with a coach, to find a book, to listen to things that will help you. Okay? Sometimes we just need that extra support to get where we want to go.